Good morning. Welcome back to Planet Doug. And this is a little bit of an unusual video, sort of a bonus behind the scenes special type of video. Basically, I'm here in Kuala Lumpur and I'm hungry. So I'm hungry and I need some exercise. So I decided to go for a walk from here to Pudu to go to one of my favorite restaurants. Not a special place really, just a basic buffet, mixed economy rice place. I just like it there, and I can get there by LRT. But as I said, I needed some exercise, and I thought since I'm walking all the way to Pudu, why don't I fire up one of my many cameras? And the camera I chose for this walk is a 360 camera. So with a 360 camera like this, you can decide what to do with the video. You can reframe it later on and turn it into a regular video, or you can just leave it as a full 360 video and upload it that way. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So my plan for today is simply to walk to Pudu and record as I walk. And I'm going to go through Petaling Street Market, the Chinatown Market. I'm going to be going by the Merdeka 118 building. And anyone that is watching this video, it's a 360 video. If you're watching on your phone, you can move your phone around in the air and basically aim the camera yourself. So you can look in any direction you want. You can look at me. You could look behind me, you can look up in the air, to the left, to the right, to the ground. You can basically just move your phone around and look in any direction that you like. And if you're watching this on a laptop, you can do the same thing. You can change the camera direction with your mouse. If it has a touch screen, you can move it around with your finger. So it's basically a 360 video. And my original idea, of course, was to have it completely silent. I wasn't going to talk at all. It was just going to be a simple bonus 360 video. But I thought if I have something to say, so I plugged in a microphone. I've got my Rode Wireless Go hooked into the camera. And I guess as I walk around, sometimes I'll be holding the camera in front of me like this. And then sometimes I guess I'll sort of have it behind me, resting on my shoulder like a walking stick, sort of basically like this. So I'm holding the camera behind me, and then you can see me from behind, or you can look around in any direction, or you can look up in the air, like right here. If I stop, you can look up at some of these tall buildings around me. But the most natural position is probably just ahead of me like this. So I'm passing by the Masjid Jamek MRT station right now. And if I was going to take public transportation to get to Pudu, I'd hop into the trains here. It's a pretty simple ride to get there. But instead of doing that, I'm going to walk right by it. It's a Saturday here in Kuala Lumpur. And that means very few people are going to work. So you don't have people commuting. So the usually very busy station here is quite empty. And on a weekday, you would find all kinds of food stalls all around the MRT station as well. But today, there isn't a lot of that going on because there's not that many commuters. Got one food stall over here on my left. According to Google Maps, the route that I'm going to be following to get to Pudu, it's about 39 minutes from my hotel to the restaurant. So this could be a 40-minute video. A little bit of a tour of Kuala Lumpur, I guess. And just ahead of me and on the right is Masjid Jamak, the famous mosque here in Kuala Lumpur. I'm walking by this mosque all the time. And I've talked about this in a number of videos over the years about the history of Kuala Lumpur, but I'll mention it again. Maybe someone who's watching this video doesn't know the story, but right here below me on the right, running beside the mosque, is the Klang River. So that's the Klang River down there. And right up ahead of us, it meets the Gombak River. Let's see if we can get a view of the area. I'll just stop walking for a minute. And with the 360 video, you can look around in all directions if you want to. So there's the mosque, Klang River, and right up ahead, the Klang River meets up with the Gombak River. So that is what you would call a confluence of two rivers, and that is where the name Kuala Lumpur came from, because the name Kuala Lumpur means muddy confluence, because where the two rivers meet, the water's kind of muddy, so they call this muddy confluence, or Kuala Lumpur. So just coming down here to, I think I can continue, yeah, walking along the river here. And they often have a mist show here in the river. They have a series of pipes that pump out a white mist with some blue lights. And it looks quite nice, especially at night, but it's not the time for the mist right now. And right up ahead of me is a bridge going across the river. It's a very popular spot for tour groups and tourists of all kinds, and people like me come here to get a nice view of the river, Masjid Jamak and things like that. And a large part of the length of this river, they've developed it as a kind of a riverside park, where they focused on a lot of the history of the city, things like that, and they call it the River of Life project. Just for fun, let's cut across the bridge here, and if you look in one direction, you can see the mosque, Masjid Jamak, in the downtown area, and you can see the huge mural up on the buildings over there. And when I walk in this direction, which I do quite often, I'm normally on the other side of the river, but just to do something slightly different. Well, why don't we get very, very different, since I'm doing kind of a 360 tour of Kuala Lumpur. I really shouldn't do too many detours, because I've got a long enough walk ahead of me as it is. But right over here, just like a short block away, is the Independence Square. Now that I think about it, I don't know if that's the official name or not, but I think of it as Independence Square, because this is the park where Malaysia's independence was declared, when it stopped being a colony of the British. There's a big ceremony here, the raising of the new flag of Malaysia. All of that took place in this park right up ahead. So when we get to the corner, you'll be able to see the park and the flagpole. I think, if I'm located, yes, there we are. Huh, I don't know what this is all about. They have the area sealed off. So the road that goes down that way, they've got it blocked to traffic. But yeah, there's Independence Square, and you can see a lot of the architecture here from the British colonial times. Library up ahead of me there. And there's some small museums here, different things. But again, yeah, it's a real hot spot for tourists like me. Everybody's got their cameras out taking pictures. Yeah, oddly enough, I feel like I've hit up nearly every tourist attraction in the city, but this one here on the left, of my left, the National Textile Museum, as far as I know, I've never gone in there, so I should make a point of it. Very interesting looking building anyway, but I love a good museum, and I go way out of my way to visit them, but I've never been inside the textile museum, so maybe this week I can do that. Yeah, I don't really know anything about it. I don't know how big it is, if it's a big deal or just a cheap little place. I don't really know. I guess I'll find out this week if I make the time. Yeah, I suppose it could be that they close this road every weekend just because all the tourists come out. I don't know. Could be a special reason for it. And on my left is one of the hop-on, hop-off buses. Something else I've never actually done in Kuala Lumpur. I think it'd be pretty convenient for most people. Pay one fee, and then you can ride the bus all day long and hop off when you get to a tourist attraction. Go visit that spot and then wait for the bus to come back and hop on the next one, and yeah, just tour around the city that way. Take in a whole bunch of different attractions. All right, back at the river. That was just a short detour to head to Independence Square. This pathway that I'm walking along, it's quite nice. Part of the River of Life project that I mentioned. Goes on both sides of the river most of the time. Just because of the places where I've lived in Kuala Lumpur, I tend to have been based in this general neighborhood most of the time. So I end up thinking of the Klang River as being kind of the heart of the city, because for me, the Klang River is the heart of the city. I always find myself orienting myself from the river, walking beside it. And off on the left, on the other side of the river, that blue building is the Central Market. Another big tourist attraction. And rising high above the Central Market, the Merdeka 118 building. So, and that's where we're going actually. We're going to be walking right beside that building on our way to Pudu. But first we're going to go through Chinatown along the way. doing a 40-minute walk and a 40-minute video with this 360 camera. It's going to give my wrist and my hands quite a workout because I'm holding the selfie stick way down at the base to hold the camera up a bit high, and that puts a lot of torque, a lot of pressure on my hands. And the higher you extend the stick, of course, the greater the torque. And there is the LRT. The train goes underground there on its way to Masjid Jamek station. Yeah, so once we reach the main road up ahead, we're going to turn left. I have to do a little bit of a dog leg here to get to the entrance to the Petaling Street Market. I don't really need to go through the market to go to where I'm going, but I thought just for the sake of the video, might as well walk down a busier street rather than empty ones. So yeah, going to cross the road here and then walk along until I get to the gate into the Chinatown Market, Petaling Street Market. And it's also a bit of an unusual video because of the vagaries of 360 video editing. It has to be one continuous video from beginning to end, because I don't really have a way to edit 360 video. All I can do is export the entire video all at once. I don't know. I've looked into trying to figure out a way to actually edit 360 video like regular video, but I don't really have a program that can do that. And I guess with DaVinci Resolve it is possible, but you have to install some kind of a plugin. And I tried to do it one time, and it was another 3 days of my life that I lost just trying to figure out what to do with the plugin. And whatever I did, no matter how much I tried, how many different things I tried, I could not get it to install or work. So it was I just gave up on it. So all I can do really is take the entire video and export it as one big chunk. I can't cut it into pieces and delete sections, and I just can't edit the video. Walking by the Central Market now, and then we're going to be walking by Kasturi Walk, just sort of an alleyway, or a lane, I guess, beside the Central Market, full of all sorts of food and drink stalls, souvenir stalls, things like that. But yeah, this is basically my hangout area. I know this neighborhood relatively well. Yeah, there's a Kasturi Walk. See the sign for it. But I have no reason walk down Kasturi Walk today? Well, actually, maybe I do have a reason, right? I'm shooting a 360 video, so why don't we do it just for fun? It'll add a little bit more to my long walk. That's okay. It'll give you guys something interesting to look at. Yeah, to be honest, I don't even know whether the 360 battery is going to last for the entire walk to Pudu. Find out along the way. So, as I said, there's a lot of good food here. It's kind of hard for me to walk along here and not stop to grab a snack or a drink, but that's not the mission I'm on. My mission is to walk to Pudu. Remember in the past, this used to be almost entirely, I think, food and drinks, but they sort of renovated the whole area. Now I see a lot more like souvenir shops, clothing shops, things like that, flowers. It's mainly the drinks that are catching my eye today. I'd love to stop for a mango juice or something, but hey, we're on a mission. This whole street is interesting. I think it's been cleaned up quite a bit, but it became a popular spot for the homeless of Kuala Lumpur. They sleep here at night, at least they used to, in like really large numbers. But from what I've seen, there's been a bit of an effort to kind of modernize the streets, and I think a lot of the homeless have had to move on to other neighborhoods, but yeah, there's still some here. And I know this street well, and this park quite well, because the Kojoy Hotel is up ahead on the corner, and I stayed in the Kojoy Hotel for a while. And that was back in the days before the neighborhood was sort of cleaned up a little bit. And on the weekends in particular, you would see cars belonging to charitable organizations. They would show up here and then sort of pop open the trunk, and the trunk of the car would be filled with homemade lunch boxes for the homeless. And this whole area is very popular with migrant workers from places like Bangladesh. They often they take these buses into the city on the weekend when they have a day off. And then there are certain stores that they all go to that have a reputation for selling the products that they need, the food that they like at a cheap price. And then they all come in and do their shopping, and then they hop back on the same bus and go back home, back to where they're based for their jobs. So there it is, the Petaling Street Market, the entrance. And yeah, I guess I can walk across the street. Is there a red light or a green light? Looks to be. Yeah, they do have a pedestrian bridge here, so I could take the bridge. I have no idea where the lights are. They've stopped, but there must be traffic lights somewhere, but I can't see them. No, thank you. So, I'm gonna raise the 360 camera up a bit higher so I don't accidentally smack anybody in the head. But yeah, here we are, Petaling Street Market. Obviously, for someone coming to Malaysia, they want to experience local life, local culture, it's not that kind of market. There are plenty of markets in KL to explore if you're looking for typical neighborhood life and Malaysian food, Indian food, Chinese food. This market has evolved almost exclusively for the tourist trade, but everybody still comes here. Why not? It's a fun place to walk around. My original hostel where I lived in Kuala Lumpur was also right on the edge of this street, so I got to see this street all times, day and night. I always find that fascinating. Like if you go to a tourist town, like I was just recently reading my travel journal from when I went to a city in Taiwan called Jiufen, and during the day, Jiufen is jammed with tourists, with visitors, and if you only go there during the day, during the busiest part of the day, that's all you see, and that will be your impression of the town. So a really good thing to do. Here's the main intersection for the Petaling Street Market. Got a street going in all directions from here. And then, but yeah, if you go to a place like Jiufen and then you stay overnight, then you get to go out into the market, into the busy streets, and find them completely empty. And you see all the local people closing up their shops, packing up, cleaning, and then they're getting ready for the next day. So you get to see the rhythm of the tourist town. And because I stayed in a hotel right beside this street, I also got to see that here, where like right now, this is middle of the weekend on a Saturday, so it's really busy. But if you're here at night, this street will be completely empty. All of these shops will be closed. So it's kind of fun to see it all different days of the week, night and day. Looks different all the time. And there are some hotels right down here. There's one on my left there. There's a sign, Hotel Ocean. And there's the Floresta Hotel. Yeah, there's quite a few of them, but I've never stayed in any of these. It would be interesting. You'd be right in the middle of the action. I didn't think of it until just now, but that guy just went by on a scooter. That's the only scooter I've seen. And that's kind of rare. One of my main pet peeves with a lot of markets in the world, I found this in Vietnam.